with Martin Besser. Jacaranda FM's Good Morning Angels. Wednesdays on Breakfast with Martin Besser.
Let's cross to Sascha. She's in Nelspruit this morning at our studio in Mbombela. Sascha, are you there? Good morning.
I am, Martin. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How's Nelspruit looking this morning?
Much sunnier than it has been the last 3 days because we've just had constant rain.
Oh, yeah. Much needed.
Yes, I'll never complain about the rain,
Never.
but sunshine is good sometimes.
Yeah, bring on the sunshine. Especially when your voice comes through there from Mbombela this morning. So listen, tell us, just give me a bit of a background. You passed on a request for a Good Morning Angels, which is there. It's from that area, right?
Yes, it is. So I heard about Pediatric Care Africa wanted to open a burn unit, a pediatric burn unit, and it's something that's close to my heart because my son was burnt when he was just under 2 years old. Yes, and I was fortunate. I had a hospital to go to. I had medical aid, but there are hundreds of children in Mpumalanga that get burnt on a regular basis and there is nowhere for them to go. So that's why when I heard about it, I was like, I have to contact Good Morning Angels. So
this centre wants to expand? Or do they want to, is that the first of its kind there?
Yes, we don't have a pediatric burn unit in Mpumalanga at all. It is not something that is here. So, and essentially, like when my son burnt his feet, he had to be in hospital for 12 days because the risk of infection is massive and they need such specialized care. But often our hospitals can't deal with that. So if you don't have medical aid, they'll be like, okay, here's your surgery, come back in a couple of days. And by the time the child comes back, the infection is just massive.
Unfortunately, it becomes pretty relevant this time of year while going into winter.
Yes,
there's definitely an increase of children suffering from burns. And I can't believe that there's no such unit in that area. So they want to build one.
Yes, they are going to build completely from scratch. It's going to be added on to the burn unit, to the pediatric unit at the hospital here. But I mean, there's so many specialized things involved. You can't just make it a normal room. I was following the list of things that were needed, and I was like, I didn't even realize that this was what went into a child being burnt and their care.
Because I'm guessing there's a very specific treatment and way to treat this kind of injury.
Yeah,
and trauma.
Definitely. When my son was in, he had to lay on special sheets, which we had to change every 2 hours because they had to be sterile. And it seemed like so silly. And now when I think about how much I actually had to do it, his feet had to be wet, his bandages had to be wet the entire time. So someone had to be with him the whole time he was in hospital.
Sure, it's highly specialized, very specific treatment. All right, we'll chat just now to someone from the centre and hear more about their needs and stuff. Let's see if we can get some angels together and make a difference this morning. Well spotted there, Sascha, and thanks for sharing the story. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Good to hear you in the morning as well.
It's early to wake up. I'm not sure how you guys do this every single day.
But we're much friendlier than that grumpy oak that you work with, that Lions supporter.
As if Sascha has traffic.
Yeah.
It took me 2 minutes to get here. Let's not joke.
Stop it. We'll cross back to you in a moment. They're from our studio in Mbombela this morning and chat some more about this amazing centre close to Sascha's heart there. I'm so glad she flagged this with us.
Jacaranda FM's Good Morning Angels. Wednesdays on Breakfast with Martin Besser.
First angel in this case, the person who pointed the need out, is our very own Sascha from the work zone in the Lowveld area, sitting in our Mbombela studio this morning. Sascha, morning once again.
Morning, Martin.
Sascha, if you're just tuning in, just shared a personal story that affected her own son in terms of it was his feet that got burnt as a baby or a toddler.
Yeah, his feet got burnt. I had literally gotten home. It was a normal day, and I spoke to him. I said hello to him, and next thing I heard water running, and I was like, what on earth is going on? found him. He was outside the bath, so we kind of thought, oh, well, he just turned the bath on and the noise is what scared him. And we did notice his feet were a bit wet, so we took him to the other bathroom and started, this is the part where I cry, we started running cold water over his feet, and his skin just started coming off of his feet. So it was just an immediate off, and it happened because my whole thing is it happens so much quicker than you could ever imagine, and in ways that you can't imagine. I never thought that he would ever get into a bath and just turn it on himself.
It's the same thing, reaching out for pots and pans.
Thank you.
We've heard many situations of fires.
Plugs. These blinds are a hazard. I mean, we've had children literally lose their lives because of the blind playing up things.
Things happen so quickly.
Exactly.
Very quickly.
The question is there the necessary help close by? And you're telling us in Nelspruit area, no. There is not the necessary burn unit. Right?
No, unless you have, because if you have medical aid, great. I mean, even when I took my son, there was still massive costs involved, but at least the hospital stay was covered. But if you do not have medical aid to go and see a plastic surgeon, chances are the doctors aren't going to be able to help you as well as you could and keep you in hospital long enough to avoid that life-threatening infection that the kids often get.
So there's a great need for a burns unit there. To tell us more about it and exactly what they do need and how specific and specialized this could be is our guest this morning, also joining you there in studio this morning, Sascha.
Yes, I have Dr. Andre Hutzing from Pediatric Care Africa with me in studio.
Morning, Dr. Andre, how are you?
Good morning, Martin. Nice to speak to you so early in the morning.
Oh, well, welcome in our Mbombela studio in a sunny Nelspruit this morning. Okay, so tell me about, firstly, tell me about a burns unit. How specialized is it? What do you need?
All right, it's very, very specialized. The biggest danger in the medical opinion is, of course, infections. If you have a 30% of your skin burned away, your body can't fight this kind of infection. So you need to be isolated from all pathogens and bacteria and so forth from other people. So the biggest thing that you start with a burn unit is complete isolation. Keep the children safe in an area where people cannot bring in the things that is not supposed to go into a burn unit. For example, if you burn 30% on your face and your neck and your arm, the treatment is highly specialized. We have to make sure that your arm, for example, doesn't curve. As the skin grows back, it will pull your arm back, and so on. So, yes, and I mean, if you burn seriously, that is an instant life-changing, life-altering accident, and you need specialized treatment. People that is dedicated to you 24 hours a day. You may be in hospital for months and months at end. There may be some skin crafting that need to happen, depending on where the wounds are, and the treatment is highly, highly specialized. We have a unit here that we're going to convert now, if I may tell you about it. We made the pediatric surgical ward about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and a part of that ward is actually going to become the burn unit. The need is so huge that it is absolutely required. It should have happened years and years and years ago, but the need is absolutely magnificently big. And with the winter coming up now, the children just burn. You know, they burn, they fall into the fire, they fall into the pots because the mom is maybe cooking on the fire. They pull the fire, the water on them. Kids have a way of burning themselves that we can't even start to imagine.
And it happens so quickly, as we heard.
Yes. And that child needs instant and professional treatment.
So you're in the process of setting up this unit?
Yes, we are painting as we speak. So we're painting, and then tomorrow the murals are going up on the walls. This ward's murals are Mimo, I think. It's a little fish. So each child will have a fish above his bed and so forth. So we're making it child-friendly. I mean, it's a horrible thing. Now, you must remember, if you're 3 years old, and I take you away from your mom, and I close you in a glass box, and you need some friendly faces around you, and I think the fish will help a little bit.
I've seen it with many kids' units, children's units around South Africa. Even remember the heart unit.
Yes.
In downtown Johannesburg. If they just make a bit of an effort, put something a little bit more friendly on the walls and stuff. Talk to me about the equipment that you need. That's highly specialized as well, right? And it's probably very expensive.
Very. Anything in a burn unit is stainless steel, including the baths, for example. I paid for a bath yesterday, and the bath alone is 64,000 rand. That is uninstalled.
What?
Yeah, that is a stainless steel bath. So all the things are, of course, must be stainless steel. We cannot use the normal enamel baths and so on. And then, skin crafting is a very, very tedious, very, very expensive thing. You need highly specialized equipment for that. And then your dressing, because you use such vast volumes of dressing on one patient over a 24-hour period. The dressing is, of course, is very, very expensive. They are really expensive. And if you have 6 children in a burn ward, your bills will run up to the hundreds of thousands of rands in a month, just on dressing alone, because it's so expensive.
Well, thank you for sharing the need with us. There is definitely a huge need for this burns unit in Mbombela in the Lowveld area, and giving us a bit of a background there on the expenses. Listen, anything medical, anything specialized comes with big price tags. Unfortunately, we've learned this on Good Morning Angels. When are you hoping to open?
Next week, Friday, actually. We are very, very busy. We are hanging the curtains this weekend. We are doing all things. The furniture, which is now in our stores, is going to be delivered on Tuesday. But, of course, there's a lot of things that we don't have. That is.
I know. You need more of those baths. And they're very, very expensive.
Yes, you need basically not only baths, you need more of everything.
I know. I know. Well, listen, I always say, because I know that the needs are always so huge and expensive, the very least we can do is get the ball rolling from our side. Sascha, firstly, thank you to you for bringing this to our attention. Dr. Andre, thank you very much for sharing more about the Pediatric Care Africa Burns Unit at Rob Ferreira there. I'm going to offer you 100,000 from Good Morning Angels just to get the ball rolling.
Wife, I'm a little bit quiet, Martin. That's because I'm speechless, and my wife does not believe I can ever be speechless. Thank you so very much.
Well, Mrs. Hutton, he is. Listen, that's just to get the ball rolling. I'm sure that there are many kind-hearted people like Sascha in the area there, and we're part of that community. We connect with Nelspruit and Mbombela and the Lowveld every single morning and every day here at Jacaranda FM, so we got to get involved. All the best with your opening, and I hope that 100,000 will get the ball rolling, maybe from other companies to get involved there going into winter. Dr. Andre, thank you for meeting you. Thank you for sharing everything. Lucky to meet you. Sascha, good to catch up with you.
Always, Martin. We'll see you in May when you come visit us.
Well, hopefully before that, Sascha. You make it sound very dramatic. Hope you see you before that. Cheers, everybody. En liefde groete by almal by die hospitaal, hoor. Cheers, doctor.
Baie dankie.
Bye-bye. Good job, Angels, in the Lowveld. Good job.
Breakfast with Martin Bester, driving you to work every weekday from 6 to 9 a.m.